I was chatting with somebody who I know, is a very smart person.
Mhm.
And I asked, what do you think, just open-ended, what do you think about the Ukraine-Russian conflict, just to
Yeah.
see what he had to say. And his first response was really interesting. He said, it's 2022. Why is there still war at all? And that kind of took me back, only for a second, because I knew some people sort of thought along those lines. And I was like, well, there's always going to be war, because war is wanting to take things from people by force. So until that
Mhm.
isn't part of human nature, in other words, never, it'll always be part of human nature.
Mhm.
As long as that's part of human nature, as long as that's a temptation people have, that they would like to get things they haven't earned. When you get things you didn't earn, you got it from someone else who earned it, or who also got it from somebody else who
Yeah.
earned it. Like somewhere down the line, like there's thieves until you get to the person who actually earned it. So you either stole from somebody who earned it, or you stole from the thief who stole from somebody who earned it. So there's always that temptation to take things that are not earned by force or threat of force. And if individuals are willing to do that, well, then you better believe that political leaders and countries are wanting to do that. And they'll come up with whatever slim rationale they need in order for them to do it. So all through 2020 and lots of other times, we've seen rioters and looters, and they take advantage of a crisis and political chaos and confusion to steal stuff so that they can sell it for their own selfish reasons. And they might, they'll come up with whatever excuses to do this. But as long as that's happening on the individual level, and as long as we see that children are tempted to lie and take things that aren't theirs and this sort of thing, there's going to be wars. So it's within our nature. So this utopian sort of idea that we
Yeah.
could somehow have long-term worldwide peace. So there'd be peace, and the peace would be of a scale that it covers the entire planet, and it'd be of a time period that will be ongoing for a long period of time. It's silliness. I mean, there's some really smart people that seem to think that this is a goal that is possible, but I think that they've deceived themselves. This is not realistic. What's realistic is I individually, personally pursue virtue and competence.
Mhm.
I train my children to pursue virtue and competence. I'm an example of it. And to the best of my ability, I can try to elect people that appear to be doing a better job of that than the alternatives. I can do all of those things. And if our society embraces a pattern of pursuing virtue and competence, as a whole overall, well, then our society has a shot at avoiding unnecessary wars. So, individually, I can avoid unnecessary conflict, and I can help within my sphere of influence. I can make unnecessary conflict happen less often. Maybe that can happen on a bigger scale, like on a country scale. That's certainly possible, but you can't do that worldwide. I mean, there's going to be people that are taking and stealing. We're stuck with it. And I think
Right. Well,
that's
this
a
is.
worthwhile thing to share with your kids, to let them know what
Mhm.
their responsibility is, and the fact that not, there's going to always be plenty of people that are not fulfilling that responsibility.
Now I think you're really on the right track, because we're talking about how do we understand these global things at a close level, right? The in your home level. And this false utopia really starts with the rejection of morals. It sounds like it's this great moral possible achievement. Hey, we're going to live in a world that doesn't have any war. But actually, when you say there's not going to be any war, it's a denial that new people are coming into the world, new children all the time, and that new children are coming into the world, and unlike the rest of us, they don't have any temptations to lie or cheat or steal or be selfish or be prideful, right? Because this is really this leftist idea of the rejection of an objective morality. Because when you get to deny that there's a moral, then you get to say, okay, all we have to do is pretend everybody's okay, and then we'll all get along. Instead, when you say that there are things that are wrong or evil, then you get to build up virtue in the individual. But that takes time for all of us,